Okay, Dr. Pernia, good afternoon. I would like to ask for this interview from a standpoint of population and development, you
Okay.
being an economist,
Yes.
what are some of the benefits of the RH Bill?
We have to look at the population issue at the macro as well as at the micro level. At the macro level, the RH bill is going to benefit the economic growth. It's going to be a boost to economic growth because families will be having children, only the number of children that they can afford, which will allow them to save. And therefore, if families are able to save better, then the national saving rate will go up. And it's important that we have a high national saving rate because savings are needed for investment. And the reason why we have been left behind in terms of economic development by our neighbors in Asia is that we have a very low savings and investment rate.
This is on a personal level, sir.
Yes. At a personal level, because the macro, the country as a whole is made up of families, and the more families making up the country save, the better. The bigger we have in terms of savings that will be available for investment, and that will, in other words, the RH bill will allow families to save, and therefore the pool of national savings will be greater, which would mean that we would have, there will be more savings available for investment in infrastructure, in education, in health, in in addressing the environment, in addressing poverty. So that's one. That is just one issue. The second one is the more families try to lower the number of children they have, and that which can be made possible by the RH bill is fewer children will allow the poor to invest more in their children in terms of education and health, and therefore there will be better chances of the children of the poor to improve their lives, when they grow up.
Does this also affect middle class families or just the poor?
The poor especially, and remember we have a big proportion of poor families. We have about 35%, 33% of Filipinos are poor, and therefore just lifting up the poor will really reduce our poverty, and individual families will be able to improve their lives and the lives of their children, the future of their children. A third impact of also inequality. As the poor are lifted out of poverty, there will be better income and wealth inequality across families. A third issue is the environment. If you remember the Ondoy problem,
Yes.
much of some explanation of that Ondoy disaster could have been avoided if families did have more children than they could afford to provide for shelter, feed, and so on, and therefore they wouldn't be living in esteros, which clogged our waterways.
Which are also very dangerous.
Yeah, and throwing garbage into the waterways, and that really caused a lot of flooding. Okay, so at least on three areas: economic growth, poverty reduction, and improvement of income and wealth inequality. That's second. And the third one is we are able to better preserve our environment.